Back from strong Group 1 performances at the Brisbane Winter Carnival, Counterattack is back where he began life at Kitchwan Hills north of Scone in the Hunter Valley of New South Wales by a champion racehorse and sire Redute's Choice from a dam who's already produced 2 Group 1 winners. He has the looks, the conformation and the pedigree to make him very popular with mare owners this spring. And if your tweet, including the @Kitchwan Hills address about why Counterattack will make it as a stallion, is judged the best after seeing the story, you can win one of 2 lifetime breeding rights to Counterattack from Mick Malone and the team at Kitchwan.
Counterattack swamps them from well back and wins impressively. Haptic in front from Counterattack, who's launching the attack the outside.
Mick, it's fabulous to be here at Kitchwan Hills on the banks of the Isis River, and of course at 2 new stallions this year. We're going to focus on Counterattack first of all. Of course, a new stallion by Redute's Choice, who's now the sire of the current reigning Australian stallion.
Yeah, it's so true, and like Schnitzel, what an amazing result. He's without doubt the best source of juvenile speed that you can get in Australia at the moment, and we're rapt to have Counterattack here, you know, by Redute's Choice out of a Snippets mare, so he's bred exactly along the same lines as Schnitzel, and yeah, it's exciting to have him, and it's a big thank you to Jeff Grimmish, who's been a big supporter of ours, and for him to turn around and standing with us now, it's great, and we're looking forward, you know, working hard over the next 5 or 6 years to make this horse, you know, everything that he deserves to be.
Well, he deserves to be a superstar, doesn't he? And it's great to see the success that Jeff and Mary and obviously Kitchwan have had with a horse such as Counterattack. You know, the dam side, the mother Kismet, what a super producer she's been. So this fella, a 3/4 relation to Red Tracer, who won the Maya Classic Tats Tiara, and also Shell Scrape, a 3/4 relation, who has the Galaxy to his name.
100%, like he's just got that really strong pedigree. And genetics stand strong when you, I think when you go to stud and you're a brother to 2 Group 1 winners, and Counterattack himself was just so luckless in a lot of his races, and I think even Chris will suggest, as we talked about before, that he really tried to push him out to the mile, and which he sort of felt that he would do. He would run due to the fact Red Trace was very strong over the mile. But look, at the end of the day, he raced against the best. He stood up against horses like, you know, over his career he beat horses like Impending, Blackheart Bart, Russian Revolution, Takedown, Pride of Dubai, Exosphere, Rebel Dane, Japanese Me. These are top sprinters in Australia, horses that for the last sort of 3 or 4 years have been at the highest level of sprinters you can be in Australia. So,
you know, he won as a 2-year-old. I mean, that is so important, is it, for any of these horses going to stud?
So true, and he went to Brisbane as a 2-year-old and ran 4th in both the Champagne and the Sires up there. Look, I think he was without a doubt a top class racehorse, and I think that if we'd really stuck at those sprint races early in the piece, and that was the aim, and had a bit of luck in some of those Group 1s, well, you know, who knows, we probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to stand him.
He won at 2. If anything, he wasn't quite developed to go to Queensland, where I did take him. He did a fairly good job up there, but it wasn't until his 3-year-old year, and even later, he really started to mature into a good horse.
Counterattack swept to the front and kicked away. Counterattack, hands and heels, wins it by 1.5 lengths to Haptic.
Well, he won the Heritage Stakes, which was fantastic. He beat Haptic and Takedown, and won the Brian Crowley, beat Spill the Beans and Hellbent, and of course then he won that Group 3, the Fred Best, which has become a really good race in the Brisbane Winter Carnival.
Very much so, and he won it so well too. He ran away from his rivals and beating good horses in that race. And then to go on, like if you go through, he's 3 times Group 1 placed. In the Dooman 10,000, he was beat. If he just got out a little bit earlier, he wins. And again, if he wins those races, he's probably not a horse that we would have had opportunity to stand. He would have been a stand they'd have been sourcing him at 20 and 25 million as they do. You know, a Group 1 winning son of Redute's out of a Snippets mare. So if genetics and speed and ability and type play a role, this horse gets every chance, every possible chance, and you get now a chance at 13,000 as opposed to 30 and 40,000 that some of these first season stands stand for.
A horse like Counterattack coming into a stable, he's got it all in front of him. He was an easy horse to train, which is what trainers want when they go and buy horses at the sales. It's what the breeders want. A breed is what a breed, what a trainer wants.
Gates open, racing in the Ubat Stradbroke Handicap, and Counterattack has missed the start.
The Stradbroke Handicap that's obviously just been won by Impending. I mean, he was only 1.5 lengths off, and that was his final start. So that's the ultimate Group 1 at the end of the carnival.
And so many things went wrong. Opie Bossum was stood down. He got sick in the first, so he couldn't ride him, so he had to change jockeys. And when the barriers opened, he missed the kick. And then he just didn't get the runs he needed throughout. But how gallant. He's just so gallant, so tough. He just tries so hard.
Well, he was a brother to horses from the stable that were very successful. In fact, Group 1 winners. So he's a brother to 2 Group 1 winners. He was Group 1 placed himself. He's a very attractive looking horse, very athletic, obviously by Redute's Choice, who was a champion in his own right.
Well, looking at him as a type, I mean, he's a lovely, big, strong horse. Obviously, he's just come out of that winter carnival, but he's already starting to, show that the signs of being a big, strong, gorgeous individual.
He really is, and he has that look of, I guess, he has that sort of Redute's head, that Redute's jowl, lovely, big, loose action. He's got a bit of scope to him as well. He's not that short rein. Sometimes you see that with Redute's. He's got a bit more length to him. And just a beautiful horse to deal with, great temperament, always had a great temperament. I guess whenever you race like he did, for as long as he did, against the best, you've got a good temperament. So if he can put those few things, and his genetics into his foals and that type, well, we've all seen where these sons of Redute's go. Look at Snitzel, for instance, flying, not a single doubt flying. Where would Beneteau have been if he hadn't passed away? Stratum, who we've just recently lost. They're four sons of Redute's Choice that are playing at the highest level in racing. They're in the top 10 and have been year in, year out. When we do a lot of matings on the farm, I always talk about, what stands you choose. And I think there's like 2 haystacks. There's a massive haystack, and in there's a lot of stands that might have been a little stout by certain sire lines that we don't know down here, or by stands that haven't been successful, but they've been a really good racehorse. That's a massive haystack. And there's a little haystack that has these types of horses in it, like your Australian colonial bred horses that had a lot of speed. They're by stands that year in, year out are successful. And for me, when I'm breeding, I want to be putting my hand into that smaller haystack than that big one. So I think our 2 horses, well, actually all 3, even Dane Shadow's been that sort of horse, and he's been very successful with 4 Group 1 winners. Sabu, Counterattack and Dane Shadow, they sort of fit in that smaller haystack where more often than not winners come from.
Yeah, you hear trainers talk up non-Group 1 winners all the time. He's a non-Group 1 winner, but look at his pedigree. Look at the way he moves around the paddock. If you can see him in the paddock or see him on a racetrack, how effortless his action is, that's what will sell this horse. He'll produce good-looking foals. He's got the breeding on his side. What more can you ask?
As far as setting a fee, I mean, we have, I think in Australasia, about 40 odd new first season sires. How do you set the fee that's A, realistic, B, going to be attractive to mare owners, and C, is fair, and obviously what you feel the horse is worth?
I think a lot of, or today, it doesn't matter what it is, supply and demand is so important, and a lot of these stands have their fees set off the fact the phone's ringing off the hook. Even before they go to stud, so. But look, I just think that for a first season stand, a standard around that 13, 15, that's real. It's probably money that you can get out of. A breeder gets a chance. So, and I think both of our horses represent good value there. Counterattack especially, he's been, like I said, he's a Group 1 sprinting son of Redute's Choice, out of a Snippets mare, and has those looks that we're seeing now on the TV. And I just, hand on my heart, I feel really strong and happy to have him.
He's a lovely big strong horse, Counterattack at Kitchwan Hills. And just recapping that Twitter address, just send the best tweet about why you think Counterattack will make it as a stallion. Include at Kitchwan Hills in your tweet, and if it's judged the best received, you can win one of 2 lifetime breeding rights to Counterattack. We'll let you know the winners and the winning tweets in next week's show.